the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, January 2nd. So happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone has had good holidays. This is a brutal Monday, but the good news is tomorrow is Friday, or if you're listening to this tomorrow on your way to work, today is Friday. So there you go. That's the good. I only bring good news when I can. You're welcome for that. And as we start the new year, this is a weird one, Landon. I'm normally the guy that'll write the previous year, so 2024, well into the new year. Normally, that's what I do. Today, I wrote 20. I wrote 12 a lot rather than one. I didn't even mess up the year. Never messed up the year, just messed up the month, which is not. I normally don't even mess up the month the other 12 times of the year. So that's a weird one. Did you write it 24 any today?
Well, it feels like it's still December, so I'm with you on that.
Okay.
I'm kind of just 2024 is a great year, but I'm just ready to move. I'm just ready to see what's in the future or now because it's 2025 now.
Yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on.
the
Conference
page.
play starts in
For
basketball.
Turn the page.
Football, right. Football season's over. No one's watching any football. It's done. It's over with.
Mike Matthews, turn the page.
Is that a done deal? Like I'm not clear where we're at with that. So
I just think like if he wasn't going to go in, he would have just announced he wasn't going to go in and had like a big thing. I don't know. Like our kids like announce everything. They'll announce, what high school they're transferring to now. I don't know why we can't just get an announcement on what he's doing and get this show on the road, but it seems like
wait till that ink's signed on the new deal, right?
I guess, yeah, whatever. The new car comes out, I guess, in January, so he had to wait until that to get the lease on that new car.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to at this point. I don't know, but we did see. I mean, just jumping into transfer portal talk, and thank you guys for watching or listening wherever you're doing it from tonight, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We're on all the platforms. Nico's tweet, speaking of platforms, promptly deleted. It didn't call for any wide receivers. It just called for the linemen. Just you put out a bugle horn.
Yeah.
News team.
Siren. Yep. Yeah, that was
deleted.
Yeah, I don't think you could put if you're thinking of entering the portal, hit me up.
Oh, I thought it was just about the optics of a player tweeting. I think that was a call from inside the house, like, hey.
Yeah, maybe not the best thing to tweet out at this moment. I just thought the thinking was funny because I was like, well, maybe wait till they're actually in the portal for you to talk to them.
But is that tampering? Is Nico a representative of Tennessee? Can he not reach out?
He probably can. Yeah, he probably can. I think it's more like maybe not the best look.
No, I think the O linemen on your team probably don't appreciate it. I think that's why I think the call came from within.
Oh, yeah.
Which who knows if Nico even posted in this day and age. Like it could have been.
Yeah, does he even run his Twitter?
We need for all athletes, we need the tweets not signed by Nico or not Nico's tweet, like that kind of deal.
Mm.
Or the likes are not endorsements, which you can't see likes anymore, so don't have to worry about that one. Retweets are not endorsements, maybe. We need those labels just to be on the safe side of things. But regardless, it makes it interesting at a time that we don't necessarily need interest. That's the fun thing about being a Tennessee fan now is you can skip the misery element of one program and move on to the next program. And if that program brings you misery, jump to the next. Like we have all 3 seasons now, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never a dull moment with the transfer portal, I guess. Like that's part of it. Clark Johnson
Right.
said, "What's the update on the Matthews kid?"
Clark, shitter's full, bud. We don't know.
Yeah.
I
think it's
provocative.
Fair to just expect him to not be at Tennessee, and if he ends up here, cool.
I think I'm with you at this point. I don't even know if I necessarily need an announcement or just that maybe the rumblings, which I guess we got the rumblings of there's a new deal going to be made.
Yeah.
That was also a week ago now, or almost a week ago, I guess. So you just think the rumblings would have been a little bit louder if there wasn't an announcement at this point. So I think no news is bad news in this thing.
Right. And I just don't really get it, to be honest. Like you're upset you didn't play this year, so you want to go somewhere else
and start over
where it's up in the air if you're going to play or not. When here, you were going to play, you were going to start.
For him,
there's no one else left. You had to.
For him, it's definitely interesting, and maybe it's to go to a better team. But then again, like you just stated, it's not about playing time at that point. And then is that better team going to have a spot for you? Are they going, and maybe someone's already reached out. They'd probably have, if we're just being honest with ourselves. But yeah, you're not going. You might get promised playing time, but you played football long enough. You understand that you're not just going to go in as a day one starter of the position you're in right now. If he was a senior that played well, sure, he's probably getting those offers and considerations, and he probably would. But like that's just not the case here. He would be fighting for a spot unless he went to a lesser team that just absolutely needed guys. But that would be one of equal or lesser value than Tennessee. So it just doesn't. It's got to be about money, but maybe a little bit more than just money. Maybe there's relationships there that have been severed at this point, or just not on good ground at this point since everything's happened. I'm with you. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is with all of the rumors you've heard, with all of the hearsay. It's tough. I have a hard time believing it's just about money at this point, but then you get into what else could it be, and it gets a little more confusing, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you were a 5-star, and I guess when you see Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams kind of go off as freshmen, like that kind of like, I'm sure that's tough to watch because you were ranked right up there with those guys. But like it happened. Like you didn't play this year. I wish I had an answer for why. I don't think anybody really has an answer for why.
You're also
he might have a better answer than why. Like, did he not practice well? Did he deal with some injuries that kind of put him behind?
And practice well is a good point, but I think what needs to be added onto that, and I think a lot of players miss when they have to have the self-reflection of playing time, and whether they're honest with themselves or not, I think what a lot of players miss is playing time is also about earning trust. And I don't know how much trust he should have earned because I'm not there every day. But that's a big, like, what, and I think on the back end of the season as fans, we thought, well, he's doing his job when he's in games for the most part. And so why isn't that trust being built between why can't they turn to Mike Matthews and trust that you're going to do your job when you go in the game? Is that, and maybe that's not the only factor or biggest factor. I mean, I don't know. This is all speculation. I want to make that clear. But yeah, I think that's a huge piece. And so why is that trust not there? is there more to still be earned? So is that why you didn't play? But I mean, I think that's when you look at these older guys that are playing that you go, there's got to be someone better behind him. The factor we don't see and understand because we're not there every day is they've earned more trust than the younger guys. Like they've earned the leash to mess up. And we've kind of talked about that. Like no one's had a leash like Zakai Ziegler. And he's earned the trust of Rick Barnes that if he's going to make mistakes, he's earned the trust that it's going to be made up for. Like, and he's not going to make it again. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is with Mike Matthews, but I do want to point out I hate to draw another similarity to ball basketball, but if he hangs in the portal too long, you have to recruit over him at some point. You got to move on.
Yeah. And
I think when you look back at last season, you obviously had, did Jonas Adu hit it late? Is that what happened? When did he actually go into the portal?
I don't think it was late.
Right. I didn't think it was either. But I'm trying to remember the exact circumstances that.
But it was the Awaka thing that he was like, yeah, he could come back.
Okay. So Awaka entered it though before Jonas? I thought maybe he entered after, but where I was going with this, right. Tennessee's staff, I'm sure wanted Awaka to return, but at some point they had to plan for him not. It's like you can't just hope, and they had to go out and get someone that said, "Yes, we're coming, we'll be there." And if Mike Matthews even thinks he wants to be at Tennessee, he also has to understand that he's going to not only be recruited over every single year, but when you're in the portal, you're going to be recruited over because they can't depend on you being there when you've got one foot out the door.
Yeah. Also do a little research and like who all left Tennessee last year that had a better year than they did at Tennessee. Not very many.
Sure. I think that boils down to the whole grand scheme of Tennessee and the transfer portal. I've had a few people ask me what's happening. And I'm like, hey, it looks worrisome on the surface, but when you start getting into it, there are some losses that you don't necessarily want. Like I personally didn't want Squirrel White gone. I think he battled a lot of injury. I think he probably shouldn't have played due to that injury some this year. I think he struggled at times, but I still wanted Squirrel White on the roster. And like but like when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, like it's not the worst thing to lose. Yeah. And a lot of the losses are not even in the realm of Squirrel White. It is what it is. I think the Cam Seldon loss hurts a little more than we feel right now because of the thinness of that running back room, especially at the perceived talent level at what they were recruited at. But he was the third back of the guys that are left. So how can you be upset with the coaching staff, for example, for that?
Well, the Mike Matthews things hurts so bad right now is because of who you lose in Brew McCoy and Dante Thornton. Like that's why it hurts. It doesn't hurt because he was so productive last season.
Mike Matthews hurts because he's a freshman, 5-star, and the hope forward. Like he's not in that class of guys that I'm like, it makes sense. That's just going to be how the transfer portal. Like he is one that you really shouldn't like that. That's a player you never want to lose the transfer portal,
right?
In terms of like how this year played out, he's not one that quote unquote makes sense.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot too, like the Jalen Hyatt thing, where it's like, man, just stick it out and it'll pay off. And you hope that some guys realize that, and maybe he goes on and has a great career somewhere else. It just stinks that like and we're in the camp of like we thought he should have played a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's also playing receiver is a lot about blocking. I don't know. I don't watch the all 22 stuff, so I don't know how well he was blocking, but you had a running back rush for 1,500 yards. If he wasn't out there blocking on the plays where Dylan Sampson was getting the football, I mean, that's one reason he wouldn't be out there. It's not just like, oh, he's not a good wide receiver. There's just a lot of, you talked about trust. There's a lot of aspects to playing wide receiver that get you that trust.
Absolutely.
And for whatever reason, he didn't have it. So he didn't play a lot. Obviously, he played, more down the stretch because there were some injuries at some positions. And it stinks, but he had every opportunity to come back. And it wasn't like Tennessee kind of pushed him out. we heard the excuse like, oh, he thought Nico was going in, so he went in. That I think that's bullcrap. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you not just wait until Nico decides and then you go? Or just call him and be like, hey, are you going in the portal? Because if so, I'm right there with you.
We're going to find out we have like a Russell Wilson situation where they don't have his cell phone number. They have to call his people.
Yeah,
guy's on parking spot.
Yeah.
And Barrett, and this goes into the whole transfer portal thing of like, at the end of the day, it is just going to be natural. You lose some, you win some. It is just it is a revolving door, and you hope to come out on the right side of that revolving door. Barrett said if Amari Jefferson and Zach Branch come, we should be fine tacking on the 3 freshmen we have coming in. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you go and address needs in the transfer portal, whether those needs left or not, then yeah, it's all a wash and you're fine. And that was a point brought up last week in that 2023 team and what they lost baseball into what they gained and kept and gained in 2024 and ended up winning a national championship. So yeah, no, like all of this could be all for nothing. Like you could be talking about Mike Matthews for no reason. But Tennessee's yet to land those guys. So it's just one of those things. Yeah, you can win the transfer portal, though, and the guys you lost at the end of the day don't matter, whether they be freshmen that you hope can produce next year or All-American pitchers that turns out they can start, they can close, they can do everything in between, and looked like they were going to be a real asset to you in a national championship season.
Yeah. Yeah, the program's going to survive, whether Mike Matthews is at Tennessee or not. Same with Chase Burns. Chase Burns went to Wake Forest and had a phenomenal season. But guess what? He wasn't there at the end with Tennessee in a Tennessee uniform holding a trophy up.
Right.
So life goes on. Relax. I do think like it seems like it's a Heupel thing. Maybe it's just a Tennessee thing. I don't know. When there is some like doom and gloom going around, it seems like something happens to kind of brighten it up, bring people back down to earth. And Amari Jefferson hitting the portal and then immediately getting a prediction to come to Tennessee it helped. It helped soften the blow a little bit for the Mike Matthews thing that I guess is happening tomorrow. I don't understand.
Oh, is that the rumor now? I haven't seen that.
It's like what I mean. Okay. The portal closed like 4 days ago, but we're still here. I can't
wait I'll be on the edge of my seat all day, waiting to hear.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll fax his decision in or not. And go back to the old days.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, if he enters the portal, I think that's for sure. He's not coming back to Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty rare that now that the way the portal works, it's pretty rare that you see players come back out of the portal. But I think the big part of that is that you cannot, like you can go and recruit, but until those guys tell you they're coming back, you have to assume they're gone. I don't know what Awaka's conversations were. For all I know, it could have been, hey, if you hit the portal, like we can't guarantee you a spot. We obviously will have you back, but the moment you hit it, like we've got to go out and get someone else. Like that may have been exactly what it was, but also you get 3, 4, 5 days in, you really got to go out and recruit. You don't have an option. And the same, I mean, that's the thing with Mike Matthews is right now, coaches have to be there recruiting Amari Jefferson, recruiting Zach Branch. They have to, whether you, and they probably were going to do it regardless of if you're in the portal or not, but they're definitely doing it now with the unknown.
Yeah.
Bear brought up another good point. We lost a bunch of D-backs and D-backs, defensive backs, not D-bags. They may have been. I don't know, though. And we definitely improved this year from last year's group. So there's that. Sure. I mean, that again, that's you can win or lose the transfer portal. I guess sometimes you can come out even. You just hope to win it every year. And when you lose guys like Mike Matthews, it gets harder to win in the transfer portal. But it's certainly possible. And it's possible to not win at one position in the portal, but get better somewhere else. Like, I think going back to that 2023 baseball team, I don't think you got better than Chase Burns, but you also improved in a lot of other areas that allowed your team to be better. And so you can still win the entire transfer portal without winning that position. Now, obviously, receiver is really critical, so that makes it tougher, but it's doable.
Well, in receiver, yeah, I mean, you have guys that are NFL talent as soon as they step on campus, sure. But Tennessee, like, I mean, especially in recent years, the best guys that you've had aren't necessarily 5-star or even the top wide receiver in your class. I mean, look at Juwan Jennings. He wasn't the star of that recruiting class. Look at Jalen Hyatt. Look at Cedric Tillman. You know, all these guys that have, you know, really went on to the NFL and, you know, got drafted and stuff like that have been guys that are on that kind of 4-star that's kind of worked their way into a star. Because, I mean, no one gave Juwan Jennings a shot, even when he, you know, was all SEC and went to the draft. They're like, oh, yeah, he's not fast enough.
I don't think you did a bad job of proving your point. I would like to go, like, I mean, when you look at the history in recent years, you're right. I would like to go on the record of saying I will take the talented 5-star wide receiver.
Sure.
I bring him, please.
Sure. Yeah.
Pretty please.
But I do think you have to have a good mix of guys like that too.
Well, and I think it's also just balancing characteristics of receivers, and they're not guys that are really tough and will just want to block their butts off. They're, you know, it's gonna be difficult to find a 5-star that does that because let's be honest about the way you rate receivers.
Well, it's also got to be a fit. Like, I mean, you were talking about the baseball team. Like, no one in that bullpen or you know, really, I guess starters were better than Chase Burns.
Right.
I mean, him and Drew Beam, I mean, I guess they were close, but like no one was better than Chase Burns of striking people out.
Well,
but it fit. It worked. Whatever you put together, that mad scientist of Frank Anderson, it worked. So I do think there is a little bit to that where it's just got to work out. Like, let it work itself out. I don't think as fans you can get too high and too low on a player, especially anymore with the transfer portal.
Right.
I think you have to just kind of let it play out. And that might be a good New Year's resolution for myself. Like, do not, you know, the recruiting and especially high school recruiting, like, good God, you don't know in 2 years, half those people won't even be at Tennessee. So
yeah, Landon, stop worrying about what high schoolers are doing. That's your New Year's resolution. With no context, just write that on the board.
Right.
Yeah. It's a tough road that we have to, as fans, like, we just kind of have to sit back and wait. It's a horrible wait and see game. Like, the transfer portal is worse than waiting on game day because it's actually the guys on your team. And you're like, well, who's going to be here and who's not? And when are we going to know? Because there's, obviously, we'll know quite a bit more here in the coming days because people have got to start moving to campus and getting ready for the spring semester. But other than that, like, you're just kind of, there's no clear date for a lot of these guys. And so I guess it is kind of like waiting on a really long game day. But it's not the same, in my opinion. It's not.
Yeah.
I hate the transfer portal, not because I don't think it should be. I think there needs to be some things fixed, but not because I'm like, you know, make a commitment and stay, which I also agree with the sentiment of that. But I hate it because it's more to keep up with and more that makes you worry about Tennessee. And I don't need to worry about Tennessee more. My cardiologist is going to love me for all the billing he can do, but hate me for the pain I put him through.
Yeah. Yeah. Just got to move on.
Move on. Turn the page.
Turn the page. I do think there needs to be some sort of like, I mean, guardrails, I feel like, is an overused word when it comes to NIL and transfer portal, but like, I feel like players have like they have so much power. And I'm with them having some power, but like, there comes, like, they have more power than NFL players do.
Yes.
When it comes to contracts.
And that's what I'm like, I guess it's because of the way it's structured, which that's what I'm interested to see if anyone tries to structure it differently. Like, tries to get a similar go around that the NFL owners get. But I mean, at the end of the day, at some point there will have to be a players association. Like there just will have to be, and a players union. But the NCAA doesn't have much power because they gave it all up because they refused to even try. I don't know. It's all dumb. I don't know why I care. I need to stop. I need to stop caring. So I don't think I saw this, but I was just clicking around on the transfer portal stuff here. I saw Amari Jefferson was predicted to go to Tennessee. It's 100%. So
it's 100%.
That is what On 3 it has it as 100% Amari Jefferson to Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's
like a
what is it? Is it Fong Bomb? Is that his name?
Yeah. Steve Wiltfong, I think is how you say it. Yeah.
So lock it in, I guess.
100%. I guess
that's a nice get. And I mean, the relationship's there, and they obviously wanted him the first go around. So I think that's nice for that receiving room. That's thin.
Yeah. Another in-state guy, and was once a Tennessee baseball commit from Chattanooga Baylor, and was Tennessee Mr. Football. Is that Division II? Is that what Chattanooga Baylor is?
Chattanooga Baylor is Division II, which is just private school, but I don't know which classification they are, if they're the bigger or the smaller. Or they're 3 now. I think there's 3 now.
Okay, they're the bigger one. Because
they're in it with McCall.
Yeah.
But I thought there were 3. Are there just 2?
There might be 3.
I thought there might have been 3.
Because I think there's one, and then I think there's the one that Grace and CAK are in, and then there's the Catholic and Macaulay and Baylor, Brentwood Academy. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, really solid player. Was between Tennessee and Alabama when he committed to Alabama. And when he did that, I was in the camp of like, hey guys, stop recruiting Chattanooga Baylor. It just never works out for us. But it makes his way back.
Is he from Chattanooga originally? Because I think that's a problem with like Macaulay and Baylor now is, yes, that's in-state, quote unquote, in-state kids, but they're recruiting themselves. I mean, Macaulay had like 2 guys from Canada this past year. So you don't know if that's actually a Tennessee kid when you go and recruit at Baylor or Macaulay. True. Now, it says his hometown is Chattanooga, but I don't know if that's just because of where he went to high school or if that's his hometown.
Yeah. We'll check it.
Which, funny enough, I mean, what? Urosh
Division II AAA.
Okay. So I would assume that's 3 classifications. You never know, though, with the way TLSAA structures things. Yeah, you had Urosh go to Hamilton Heights in Chattanooga. He was not from Chattanooga originally.
Not from there.
Are you trying to find his actual hometown?
Yeah, I was seeing if it was in like his bio at Alabama, but it's not. It just says from the state of Tennessee. It doesn't really give like where they were born. Like Tennessee's has like where they were born and their mom and dad, which I was like, whatever. But yeah, 6 foot, 197 pounds. Did not play or didn't register any stats at Alabama this year. Took a red shirt, so he does have 4 years of eligibility. And I think Josh Heupel's done a good job of getting guys that can give you multiple years. I know we're going to talk about Miles Kitzelman probably here in a second, but I mean that's a guy that you get 2 years out of. I don't know if it kind of worked out that way. I don't know if that's how you drew it up, but Jermod McCoy he has 2 years. Chris Brazel has 2 years. So they're doing a good job of getting guys who can help your program for multiple years and not just a rent for a semester kind of deal.
If he does get to Tennessee, will there be some on-campus recruiting by Tony Vitello? I think he was being recruited by Tennessee in baseball at one point, right?
He was committed to Tennessee baseball.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's actually his whole plan is to just come play for the national champions. He's just got to get here through football first.
And maybe that was maybe that was the deal breaker. Like Tennessee wins the national championship in baseball. He's like, man, I made a mistake. I should have went there. And I get that. Totally get that. And if that helps us get a recruit in football, that's cool with me.
He wasn't gonna play baseball at Alabama, was he?
I don't
think so. I hadn't seen that.
I don't know. He better hurry up and get on campus. I mean, we start the season in like 44 days, so he's gonna.
It'd be pretty hilarious if you saw him out there this spring. Can baseball players do that? Or does that transfer portal work differently?
I don't know how that works.
That'd be sick. I don't even know how good he is at baseball. It would just be funny to see an Alabama football player transfer to Tennessee and then help Tennessee win a repeat national championship.
He was one of like the top players in baseball in the state. Now I don't really know what that means. Because maybe 6-7 years ago, maybe that is a big deal where like, oh, Tennessee needs to land like one of the top players in the state in baseball. But now you're a legit national brand where, hey, it don't matter where you are. You come to Knoxville. We'll find you. Ross Kivett's on the road right now just looking for kids.
I heard he was in Tuscaloosa today.
He probably was. You want me to get the inside scoop on it?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, let's call him right now. He actually be in his living room right now, recruiting him.
I don't even know if this is. I probably shouldn't say. I don't even know if this is legal.
Just ask him if there's a Alabama baseball player that's on the to-do list. He's got to go. Is he getting on a plane to an SEC city this week? That's what we need to know. Or just tell him to hop on here and we can discuss everything. We should be telling him to recruit, not Josh Elander, not Tony Vitello. We should be.
I just say, is there an Alabama football player making a return to Tennessee baseball?
A return. Landon's got commitments down as players now.
Yeah.
Like once you say it, you're
I love how we were just talking about not being invested, and here we are doing it.
What's this 19-year-old up to tonight, huh? You tell me, Kiv.
Yeah. But it seems like now that they're kind of the portal is like that dead period's up, that there is, or I guess it's up, right? I think now is they can officially
they can visit and all that stuff. Yeah.
Tennessee does have some targets. Malik Benson is one. It was Tennessee, Alabama. He went to Alabama, and then he was at Florida State out of junior college. And
is that why Kirby Smart lost? He knew he had to recruit. He's addicted to recruiting.
Probably.
He doesn't even want to play anymore. He just wants to recruit.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Marcus Freeman. I like Marcus Freeman.
I'm shocked. I like Marcus Freeman too. Did not think he would
didn't think he
would do that.
No. But I do like his philosophy on the transfer portal. Did you hear this on the broadcast?
No, I didn't see this or hear this. No.
They asked him about the transfer portal. He's like, yeah, we're not going to major in it, but we'll probably minor in it.
You can't go after minors in the transfer portal. They're all over.
Ryan Williams.
He was 19. He's 19 now, right?
No, he was 17.
Oh, that's right. I wonder if he's 18 yet. Ryan Williams to Notre Dame?
There you go. Maybe.
Keep an eye out.
But yeah, I don't think you do the whole Ole Miss.
It can't be your program foundation.
No.
But you can certainly go in and address some big pieces in that. I mean, and I think these guys, you're not recruiting them to sit on the bench. Like you're recruiting them to fill a spot. Yeah. And I think too, if you're gonna make it your life's mission to be in that, you have to go the Ohio State route, because we didn't think it was going to work out. Now it's probably going to win a national championship.
Yeah.
that I think it's probably up to a $30 million roster now. It started at like 18 during the Michigan game, and now it's grown to like 30 million.
And keep going up, baby.
Yeah. And listen, I'm glad you brought up Notre Dame. You guys know on the show, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I don't know if they deserve to be in the college football playoff after losing to Northern Illinois, but frauds is not the right word. They've made the most with what they've gotten handed. And, that they're just playing good old fashioned whoop your butt football. I mean, they played Indiana how a lot of teams should have played Indiana this year. And it's just, hey, we're going to demolish you in the trenches.
Yeah.
If you make good play calls, if you get guys into space, that's only going to happen a few times a game. You have to snap the ball from the line of scrimmage every play, and we're going to wreak havoc. And that's all they did to Indiana. And then Georgia, I mean, that's pretty much what they did to Georgia, especially down the stretch. They just said, we're going to beat you at the line of scrimmage.
Well, what's crazy is if they don't give up that fumble right before the end of the half and they don't let a kickoff return for a touchdown, it's 10-9.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
already,
game infuriated me because, I mean, you saw Notre Dame. They were blitzing from everywhere.
All I wrote down for Notre Dame was pressure. And I think it's a little bit easier. Like, I don't want to – you all know if you've listened to this podcast since the Georgia game, or really before that, I don't like when Tim Banks just drops back and tries to defend. You don't have the DBs for that. You don't have the linebackers for that. I think you got to pressure the quarterback. I think it's a little bit easier for Notre Dame to say, hey, we can pin our ears back all night. They have Gunnar Stockton, who's played in half a game.
Yeah.
And not look good. We don't have Carson Beck, who looked like a really, really good, smart quarterback at times this year. So I think it is a little bit easier, but I also think Tennessee could have done a lot to disrupt Carson Beck by sending pressure. And Tennessee refused to do that. Notre Dame said, we'll tee off. Like, we will gladly. I mean, that fourth down play was the reason you send pressure. I mean, that was a prime example of this is why you do it.
Yeah.
Because I think if he has one more second back there, it's a complete pass in the flats. Mm-hmm. And it probably a first down. It was right at the line.
They also just don't have the receivers that you're just scared to death of.
Those should be the ones you go one-on-one with.
Yeah.
Not Ohio State's.
No, God. No.
Not Ohio State's, which I don't know how we ended up in one-on-ones with Ohio State so often, and we're sending 3.
We didn't blitz. Yeah.
So I don't know what was happening in that one.
Bold strategy.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff Harrison asked, who do we get if DC Banks leaves? Brother, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, strike up the hot board. I guess we'll fire it up. But
yeah, follow some planes, I reckon. But
I mean, is that real?
I don't know. I just saw it. I was scrolling during the game earlier, and I just saw it. I haven't been on my phone a whole
because
lot.
like
I haven't been on Twitter a whole lot.
Every year there's like somebody on Tennessee staff that like, he could get stolen from here, or he's rumored to talk to this, or will this coach be interested in Tim Banks? They worked together 5 years ago at Montana State. Just weird stuff like that just comes up. But I don't know. Apparently it was Miami, then it was Clemson. I'm like, where's this guy going?
Yeah. I don't know.
Also, in the two biggest games,
was he taking visits during the season?
I guess during the 2 biggest weeks of the year, what it seemed like.
Oh man,
I don't know that. I had some people text me from work, and they're like, "Man, this is your champion, your SEC champion." I'm like, "Dude, I'm happy they lost. I could care less."
I don't. There's a lot of outside SEC people that don't understand, like when we say the SEC is better, and that's been proven to be wrong this year, and that's fine. I don't care because, like you said, I'm seeing South Carolina lose. Great, wonderful. Big Brett Bielema fan, turns out. Seeing Alabama lose, one of the happiest days of my life. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
I have zero SEC pride. Zero. Disband the whole conference for all I care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least get it back to the OGs. Bring Tulane back. Bring Sewanee back. Vanderbilt gets to stay. They're an OG. Let's have at it.
Well,
Georgia
that's
Tech,
like,
baby.
yeah, it looks
Go
good for
Jackets.
us if they win. And I'm like,
How?
our season's over.
How
Who
does
cares?
it matter? It doesn't matter. What recruit do you go in the living room and go, you see that Alabama win today? We beat them. What? You don't
Yeah.
say that.
No. I hope we beat them, and I hope they lose every other game.
The only time I'd say is acceptable is like when you like recap the year and maybe you go, oh, that was a good win. I wouldn't care if every win over Alabama was a quote unquote bad win. That's fine with me. Make them go 0-12. Cool with me.
Was the Georgia loss a bad loss now?
Yes, it was. You didn't need to see that though to know it was not a good loss. Yeah. It was good. It was fun to see Marcus Freeman. Because like I like him. I also think it's hilarious that they lost Brian Kelly. He has done what he's done at LSU. Whatever. But now they're going to play in a semifinal, like one that they had to earn, not just got put there. And if they play like that, they're going to play for a national championship.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Penn State's done the same thing the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was about to say those,
but I think
the same team almost.
But Notre Dame, especially, I mean, today in the second half, really just controlled the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And Riley Leonard, I don't know if he thought it was going to be his last game, but he played like it. And dude did not, had no fear.
He had like 90 yards passing.
He also got, how about Duke? He got the, ESPN posted a picture of him like half a Duke jersey, half an. So is this a national championship for Duke if they win?
Yeah, they get a ring.
That's sick. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for them. They needed it.
It doesn't matter though, because if Ohio State keeps playing the way that they are, they're winning the whole thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
My DMs are open. Phone lines are open. I'm ready for all those apologies to Tennessee fans start coming our way.
I don't know if we'll get them.
We won't get them, but
and I don't know if we deserve them, but it was. It wasn't a good feeling to see Oregon. It didn't feel better. I tweeted that. I was like, does it make us feel better? For me, no, it turns out it didn't. I was just thought that kind of sucked that we had to play them.
Yeah. It just seems like that was our first game. We had to run into now they're the favorite to win the national championship.
And I mean, it's the most Tennessee thing. It is what it is. We were either going to lose to SMU on their Cinderella run or just the most dominant team that, I mean, yeah, they had a really dumb, I will never be able to make sense of that Michigan loss ever. It just baffles me. Well, I tweeted the other day, was Sark drunk? If he's drinking again, look out, everyone. But Chip Kelly, Chip Kelly, did he just take PTO the day of the Michigan game?
I guess so, yeah. They had a buffet somewhere, I guess, in town.
I don't know if Arizona State deserved to be in the semifinal, but Texas doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Please cut Auburn. Cut that dude. That's embarrassing.
Dude, what about Sark, though? You can't just grab him by the face mask as he goes out for a kick.
Well, they're all his last kick that he
doink.
Trying to recap that game. He missed late in the game to end the game, virtually. That was sent to overtime, sorry. In regulation. Jesse Palmer and who else is on the call? Gosh. Joe Tessitore. They're like, I mean, look at him. Just telling him to forget that kick, just laughing it up, having a good time. I'm like, no, stop talking to him. Stop. Yeah. Don't talk to him. Let him. He's a kicker. He's been here a million times. Let him do his thing. He doesn't need you in his face. He hasn't talked to you in 12 business days because y'all haven't played and you don't care about him. Let's be honest. Head coaches don't care about kickers. Urban Meyer's a prime example. Don't talk to him. Don't say a word to him. Just let him be. Let him live in his own weird universe that kickers live in. And he would have, I guarantee he would have made that kick. Guarantee.
Instead, he looked like Jeremy Pruitt when he grabbed JG's face mask.
When I missed it, when did he grab his face mask? I was just talking about before the kick.
It was right before he went out for the kick.
The last one?
Yeah.
Oh, the one I saw, he had his helmet like this, like they were eye to eye.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
missed the
dude.
grab of the face mask.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And they just kept throwing the football. I was like, Quinn, which it worked in the overtime. Somehow that dude got that open. Good Lord.
Golden?
Was it Golden that scored the game winner?
Oh, no, that was the tight end that scored the game winner.
Not the
Golden
game
scored
winner.
the one
Yes, yeah.
on fourth down.
Yeah. Which also, maybe mine was just a little bit behind. Was there a delay coming back, and did you miss the start of the first play in the second overtime?
I don't
Like
know.
my TV cut to the field when he was halfway to the end zone, more than halfway.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
That
how do you
happened,
do
yeah.
that in overtime?
Yeah. And it's
Red
the
Hat still
only
standing
game
on the
on.
field.
It's not like
The
you're showing highlights.
Crazy. It was a fun game though.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, Bo Scata, or I keep wanting to call him Bo. Cam Scatabo or Cam Scataboo? Did he change his name on us too?
I think it's Boo. I thought it was Bo.
I think it's
spell
Scatabo.
Boo.
He can't change his name the last game of the season. No one's
Yeah.
referred to him as Cam Scat or Bo. No one's referred to him as Cam Scataboo until this week.
Yeah.
We can't go changing names now. That's not fair to us.
Scatabo is way cooler.
Honestly. Yeah. Yeah. Which I mean,
That dude's a freak.
the people can watch the Boise State Penn State game and say what they want about Ashton Genty. They can say which Arizona State made it a little bit better at the end there. They can say what they want about Cam Scatabo. Dogs, both of them, dogs.
And he just looks like, I mean, everybody had like one guy in high school that had like a neck beard that was super athletic. That was Cam Scatabo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just. Yeah, I bet he was awful, but also really good at basketball at the same time.
Yeah. It's like, man, that dude's wild. I mean, he probably fouled out very soon into the game.
And he was either just absolutely filthy from beyond the arc or nothing. And everything was down low. One or the other. I don't know which one it was. I haven't seen his highlight tape.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other.
Well, I heard that he would play, if he didn't play football, he'd play baseball. So
I was about to say, he looks like a Texas shortstop to me.
He looks like a second baseman to me.
I was about to say third base. I think it's just the face looks like a shortstop. The body type, third or second to me.
Yeah. Okay, just a stocky second baseman.
Yeah. I think it's the face looks like a shortstop. That's it.
Hmm.
He probably gets moved in college, though. He's not playing.
You calling me ugly? That dude's ugly.
I wouldn't call him ugly. I wouldn't call him ugly.
Yeah, to his face, no.
What was crazy, too, about the Penn State-Boise State game is it never felt – I know we didn't get to, like, sit down and watch it, but the parts we watched was 31-14, obviously. But it just never felt like Boise State was really out of it.
Yeah.
They also committed a lot of dumb penalties.
It never really felt like a quarterfinal game.
I think Penn State did just do that good of a job of just controlling the game, controlling the line of scrimmage from the jump.
Yeah. And you kind of figured that would happen.
Yeah, and I think Penn State did a pretty good job of battling through a tougher opponent. Like I know a lot of people watched that and was like, yeah, see, this proves Boise State didn't belong. I was like, belong as a bye team, sure. But like they were, in my opinion, they looked like one of the better playoff teams. They were better than Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd give anything to kind of go back and just have a game against a really good opponent that they didn't lose the game before. That'd be nice.
You wanted one of those bye week teams, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not a single one, right? Arizona State lost, Boise State lost, Georgia lost, and
Dang, that's right. I just now realized that. Oh, God. I was gonna say like bad news for home playoff teams.
Oregon.
Or
I
what?
was like, who's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good news for home playoff
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. I mean,
Every team
they
that
just
won
keep
was a home
rolling.
playoff team.
Yeah.
Home field
Damn,
advantage carries into the quarters.
That kind of pisses me off.
Tennessee's playing in the semifinal. That's what we're
God.
rolling with. Spin zone. Which I know a lot of people talked about that team looking rusty, and they're like, you know, you don't want to be this bye week team. But we were all also complaining about having to play a conference final. But now you're saying bye weeks aren't good for you. Let's see. This is the whole thing. I was getting mad about people saying that Tennessee's schedule was soft this year. I'm like, no. 4 weeks ago, we were calling it difficult. You can't go, I want a bye week. Bye weeks are critical, and then go, well, you don't want a bye week because you get rusty. Nope. We don't get to do that. We don't. Ohio State didn't play in a conference championship game. They got what is that, 2 weeks? 2 bye weeks. They did not look rusty against Tennessee. Oregon gets bye weeks. They looked very rusty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just what teams came in mentally prepared. And I mean, Arizona State, they just looked like Arizona State. They just looked like a team that played very chaotic brand of football with a bowling ball at running back.
Mm-hmm.
A 15-pound bowling ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, now you're like, there's going to be like Oregon and George, like Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart, like those guys are going to be like, yeah, why would we play in a conference championship when?
Right, but they're also saying that because all the bye week team lost, why would you? So you want to play in the conference title? You want to play in the conference title game? You just don't want the bye week.
Well, I think
Texas,
there's some. I don't think in a conference championship
Penn
there's
State.
any pressure, but you got to get the pressure of like you're playing in a college football playoff at home. I feel like that's different. You kind of get your feet wet a little bit.
But Penn State, they played in the conference championship game too.
That's right, they did.
Texas played in the conference championship game, which should be fair. Penn State has the easiest way. Texas is the team that is barely there.
Yeah. And their road should have been easy, but they keep making it. They keep finding ways to just let people back in. I don't know. I'm glad Georgia lost.
Yeah. No, I'm very.
But is
happy.
everybody like we're gonna keep saying like, oh, this team's a fraud, that team's a fraud, until somebody just wins a national? Everybody in the playoff is a fraud except for the national champion.
Yep. I do think, interestingly enough, I don't think you have a single semifinal on the face that you're going to go, either one team's going to get blown out or that's going to be a bad game. Now, I think there will be a lot of college football, what's the right word? Just like the casuals, that's the right word. College football casuals that will watch the Penn State Notre Dame game, and at the end, and I don't know if it's going to be great or not, but they're going to say that game was awful. But I bet it'll just be good old Northern Big Ten football, Landon. Like, I think it'll be a boring brand of football to watch, but I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. I kind of worry about Ohio State just rolling on Texas.
I do, but I think it's a matter of if Texas's defense can look like Texas's defense it has for most of the season. If they don't, Texas can't score. Not with Quinn Ewers.
Right.
When are they going to just go away from him? Which it's also amazing because he does make really good veteran quarterback plays at times.
Well, that 4th and 13, like that's a play like tons of pressure on you. Like if somebody's wide open, it's easy to get a little, throw happy and just fire that thing straight into the third row.
That's like he makes veteran plays sometimes and then looks terrible at other times. Like he's just not consistent. I think it'll be a good game for at least the first half. After that, I agree with you. It could get out of hand real quickly.
It's 6 is the line right now.
6 is the line. Notre Dame's favored by 1.5. That seems overzealous. Right 5 and 8, 6 and 7. Is that your ideal Final Four?
That's crazy.
They do have to get the seeds figured out, though, because Penn State's probably 6th seed. Texas is 5 or 4. That's what the seeds would be, even if you seeded the conference champions correctly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I know we skipped one thing. We'll get back to it. I don't have anything else for the college football playoff. I do want to laugh real quick at Shane Beamer, and I know this is getting ahead of my stupidity, but my favorite thing of the night was him getting mad at Brett Bielema for his gesture. He said he's never seen that from a head coach, come across the field and gesture at the opposing bench. Shane, he was initially at his injured player and then did it. I've seen that a million times, but you never have. So you followed that up with doing the exact same thing you were mad at him about. And then also, like, let's be honest about it. Was it smart to go in and do what y'all did? Sure. Like, you found a loophole to make it look like a touchback, whatever. But it's Bush League. Like, everyone, like, it's one of the, I'm not saying don't do it. It's kind of like baseball, like the unwritten rules. It's Bush League. Do it, take advantage of it. There'll probably be a rule in place next year for it because it's Bush League. But
Yeah.
let's just be like, just say you got one over on them and it was Bush League and you all were smart enough to do it and be a freaking man about it. Don't be mad because he got mad at you. It's the people who get offended by those who are offended. It's the same thought process. And then, I mean, he was pretty worked up in his post-game presser. And Landon, I really wish there was a time that him and Brett Bielema could have spoke one-on-one before that, and he could have said everything to him then. That would have probably been the appropriate time to do it. But since there wasn't that opportunity, I'm glad he said it in the press conference.
Yeah. I love how they were like loved up like pregame and then they end up like hating each other after the game. Competitors, I guess.
Sure.
I do think like I wish somebody would put together all of the stupid decisions that Shane Beamer makes on special teams, or just like random going for it. Do you remember when he went for it at Tennessee?
He went for it on 4th and goal, and he threw was it a tight end pass or was it a running back pass? It was a toss play that ended up in a pass to the tight end on a corner route on the short side of the field, the weak side of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, Beamer ball, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Which again, hey, I was wrong. Which I think I still stand by my take if we're talking about deserving, and the college football playoff committee can forget about what a team's done and can just go based off of how they feel, like Florida State last year. I do still think my point stands about they deserved it the most. They're a 10-2 football team over the other two. But yeah, you all didn't deserve to be in a football playoff either. So
no.
Hey, good thing they only paid $2 million from the Norris Sellers, which he had a pretty good day. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
I hate how they keep saying like he's the Heisman front runner next year. I mean,
I think we just have to expect now that no matter what, it's going to be. Well, of course, you had a freaking wide receiver DB win it this year, but like quarterbacks just get so much love that they're going to be Heisman front runners at the beginning of the year.
I mean, they scored 17 points. So where is the front runner?
They scored 17 points, and they didn't lose to just a Illinois team that played phenomenally. It was not a good football game.
No.
It was fun to watch.
Dude, Luke Altmaier might be the luckiest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Him just lobbing up throws, and somehow his receivers would just come down with it, and South Carolina's DBs were just lost because they're like – it's like when you play a kid in baseball that like throws like super slow and you just have guys just whiffing at it. That's what it looked like to South Carolina's DBs. Like they're like, that's such an easy pick, but it's so slow. Like I jumped before.
Yeah.
And missed it, and somehow Illinois receiver came down with it.
But also, how are you jumping before?
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
We mentioned Alabama, always fun to watch them lose. Davis Warren, Michigan's quarterback, give me his stat line. This is the team that Alabama lost to.
Oh, God, I bet it was, let's say, 75 yards.
Oh, close. 73 yards and a
Dang.
touchdown. Now, Landon, I know what you're thinking. They must have ran the ball really well. How many team yards? Well, let's not do team yards. Let's do, because that'll take in sacks. So let's go with just positive yards. How many positive rushing yards did Michigan have?
Let's do 108.
115 was their total after sacks and lost yardage. But their team yards or their positive yards is 145, which is still not good.
No.
I would like to note that. Still no bueno. And 12 of those, or 13 of those yards that counted against them were from a wide receiver. So not a sack. And then I thought quarterbacks no longer got punished for sack yardage. I thought that was a team stat.
That's what I thought too.
So then Davis Warren rushed for negative 14 yards in as well. And they still, yeah.
Good
Roll
Lord.
Tide Willies and Fitz.
Yeah, somebody check on him. We did kind of skip over the kind of other Tennessee portal news. Caleb Perry did enter the transfer portal. Not really a shock.
I can't keep up when that happened, if we talked about it last show or not. Glad you can.
Well, I'll just go through Twitter and see when we posted stuff in between shows. And then Miles Kitselman does return to Tennessee, gets that year. Can't depend on Vanderbilt for a lot, but shout out Diego Pavia for helping us out with that.
I needed him to transfer though. That would have been so. Respect to him for staying, but it would have been awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about mad that the guy who had 7 catches for 90 yards is leaving in Mike Matthews. Miles Kitselman, 22 receptions, 301 yards, 4 touchdowns, coming back, baby.
Yeah.
That's big. Was kind of nobody when he got here and really just fit. It's just one of those things. It just fit.
Right.
And he had a phenomenal year. I think that's huge for the offense. I think, for the passing game, obviously Nico and his development, but also protection wise and just running the football. A really good blocker too. So, that's a big get for Tennessee when it looked like, man, I don't know who is left on this roster when everybody leaves and there's not a lot of returning production at any position other than corner and linebacker, really.
Yeah.
I guess quarterback, but it's really good to get that tight end because I think he is a big part in this offense.
Sure. Absolutely. Anything else for either college football playoff, college football, or the transfer portal?
Ohio State is really good.
Yep.
Jeremiah Smith is really good.
Yes.
That's where I want to get to. I want to get to where we get guys like that. I want to get where guys like Carnell Tate don't play at Tennessee.
Sure.
Well,
we just did do that. But...
I guess we did. Yeah, that's right.
So maybe not that. Maybe not that.
Yeah. Also, guys, go check out our good friends at Hovey Dry Goods. More Important Issues is brought to you by Hovey Dry Goods. Go check them out. We will have there's a promo code, 15% off your purchase with promo code MORE. That's MORE. They got the best hats in the business. Love those hats. I really wore it in a meeting today. Changed it for the episode. I think I
casual Thursday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, off tomorrow. So just took it easy today.
Okay.
Didn't have to go in. kind of got caught up because at the office it's a madhouse. So just kind of getting ready for the long weekend ahead.
I like it.
Yep. So yeah, go check them out. 15% promo code more.
Go do it now. Shout out to Hobie. Love it.
Shout out.
Everyone loved the Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Hobie. Hey, I do have something I meant to text you earlier. Somebody sent me like, hey, I think it was our buddy Wes. He sent us some other, I don't know what kind of podcast it was, some sort of sports podcast. They went around and like made up a bowl game.
Mhm.
Like where it was played, what the name of it, what the sponsors were. I thought it was interesting, so I came up with one as well.
Okay.
Mine is the Live Moss Bowl presented by Taco Bell, obviously.
Okay.
I
I feel like that's been a bowl at some point, but
has it?
It just sounds like it should be. So you did good. If not,
okay. It's in Irvine, Texas, or Irvine, California. That's where
Okay.
Taco Bell is headquartered at.
What stadium is it played at in Irvine?
I think just UC Irvine. Our boy Paul Shelton will help us out.
Yeah.
I think it's the 2 worst Power 4 teams.
Okay.
And whoever the loser is, they can still be in the Power 4, but their TV money has to go toward the winner of the game's NIL fund.
Okay.
So you want to win this game, you can increase your NIL. Hopefully you're not back in it. Hopefully you're doing better because NIL is better.
Sure.
So I think, or we could just have them get like relegated to not Power 4. But also that could put them where they get the number 3 seed in the playoffs. So I decided to go this way.
I like that. Okay.
So I didn't know I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but
yeah,
did you want to try to come up with what would be like a good sponsor?
I think that Applebee's has done a really, really good job of integrating their name into college football with the Applebee's commercial that used to play after every single or the first one. Yeah. So I think it's going to be the Applebee's appetizer bowl. And this month only, you can get an Applebee's appetizer bowl, which is just their version of the Chili's platter. You know, it's got all of them on there. Sampler. Yep. It's their version of that. Similar to Outback, if you guys remember the glorious Outback days, one team would be the Bloomin' Onion and one team would be whatever other crappy appetizer they have. You always wanted to be Team Bloomin' Onion so you could get a free Bloomin' Onion if that team won and you wanted your team to win. Applebee's will be the same way. Each team will be, and I think this game has to be played in the state of Alabama. I don't know. Applebee's feels like an Alabama thing. So let's go with, where is South Alabama and Birmingham? I don't think they are.
They're in Mobile, correct?
Oh, are they? There's already a Mobile Bowl in there. They are in Mobile. Is that where the Mobile Bowl is played?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, let's transition. It's going to be played, and it's 2 non-Power 4 schools, of course. This isn't a good bowl game, but it's one you go to, just similar to Applebee's. You've got one team that's the chicken quesadilla. Ooh, and then one team that's the wonton tacos. That's what you got. That's what you're rolling with. This game will be played in Troy, Alabama at Veterans Memorial Stadium, capacity of 30,000.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else I need to add?
Do you have like another presenting sponsor? Because, a lot of them are like Taco Bell, also high noon or something like that. I don't know why there's a billion.
The Applebee's Bowl sponsored by PBR.
Okay, I like that.
Ooh, firecracker shrimp. Do they have that at Applebee's? Because make one. Let's do the wonton tacos and firecracker shrimp teams. That's what we've got.
I like that. Okay.
If they have that, I didn't see. I just Googled a quick menu, Jeff, but I'm gonna trust you.
All right, there you go. Add those to the list. Bowl games that people won't watch next season. Also think like they have to call the game from the field. They're not up in a press box. They're calling the game from the field.
Oh, okay. No press box action.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. I'm down.
And it's just a Skycast the entire time. It's not. There's no like full view, just Skycast.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you've got me. I'm in.
Okay. Let's do it. I like the firecracker shrimp. Got me a little fire.
I know. I'm kind of thinking about when I'm going to go to Applebee's this weekend.
Oh, he said it's at Outback.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say that doesn't sound like an Applebee's thing, but
you never know, dude. Mozzarella sticks.
They do. So you want to do a mozzarella stick team and a
quesadilla?
I think you got to go something strange. And wonton tacos sound strange, but they also sound good.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can't have two good ones, in my opinion. You can't have two great ones. You can't.
Yeah, you got to have one that sucks.
It not sucks, but you just don't want it.
You got to give it to the favorite.
Yeah.
In the game.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of I don't know, any kind of like potato spears or stuff like that. Like, just not a fan.
That's fair.
Like, they're okay.
Going on the potato thing, TGI Fridays, their sampler, buddy. I threw down in the Dallas airport when I was there. They've got the potato skins, buddy.
That's what yeah.
Those were good. Fully loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, those things are
ranch. When I say ranch,
I mean like good, but it's not something like I'm going there and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get the potato wedges.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah. If they're free, I guess I will take them. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's move on to the basketball.
Well, we gotta go forward. What's your New Year's resolution?
Oh yeah, that's right. New Year's resolution. I mean, obviously, like I'm gonna try to eat healthier. I have cut out sweets. No more sweets.
No more sweets.
Yeah.
Really? That's a tough one.
I'm a big candy guy, and I think I'm out.
Okay.
Donuts at work. I think I'm out. Like, hey, I don't care if they're free. I didn't buy them, so I don't feel like I have to eat them every time. So
that's fair. All right.
And then I'm gonna care less about recruiting.
I didn't know when you said this. I just rolled with it, and as I was prepping, I was like, I don't know if he meant like for Tennessee or if this is personal. For Tennessee, let's just be more creative on offense. Let's get back to the creative days.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
More explosive plays.
Yep.
Okay.
Personal one. I haven't made a personal one yet. I mean, obviously, like this isn't a resolution, but like you want to eat healthier. You want to. I'd like to exercise. I think mine is just exercise more, and like whether that just be I want to get into walking. Like I want to be a guy who just walks. Like those people that you see and you're like, they're always walking.
Yeah, Coach Lou.
Yes, look how healthy he looks compared to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to run. I don't need. Here's the thing: is I just don't need to run. Why would I run? But everybody needs to walk.
Yeah, that's true.
And part of it too is I have a 12-year-old dog who he doesn't need to be running anymore. His running days are behind him, but he needs to walk.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of the worst time to like want to get into walking, though. I feel like
it is, but it's way better than summer.
Yeah.
Days like today, if you walk this afternoon, it's not that bad.
Right, but right now it's freezing outside.
Well, I'm not walking right. I'm not walking at 9:15 at night.
I'm just talking
one
when
of those guys.
When the sun goes down, it's cold.
Yeah. But I think my problem is I think the reason I say walk is I'm like, I have no need to run, so I'm not gonna run.
Yeah.
My goal in life is to never run for no reason. I'll run on a soccer field. I'll run if someone's chasing me. But your boy ain't just going out in the yard stretching and then running around the neighborhood. Ain't gonna happen.
That's another thing. I feel like I need to stretch more.
Yeah, okay. New Year's resolution isn't to walk more. That is one thing I'd like to accomplish, but it's not a resolution. Resolution is to stretch more. That's my resolution. Get flexible. Get back to being flexible. Well, I never was flexible.
I'll go play pickleball, and I'm like, damn, my back hurts.
Yeah, really anything that requires athletic movement, I'm pretty torn up for days.
Yeah, and like not in the moment, you feel great, and then like the next day you wake up and you're like,
you feel good in the moment because yeah, you feel good in the moment because like your body's moving. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not that. I haven't lost too much athleticism yet.
And you can't laugh at me for wanting to walk more when you play pickleball. Like, don't start this. Don't like you play a sport that people do in skirts. Like, stop.
I just did not expect. I just want to walk more.
Yeah, I want to spend quality time with my dog, Landon. Sue me. Sue me. Don't sue me. That's the opposite of what we want.
Yeah, okay, that could be one. I'm going to sue more people this year.
Yeah, I got to make some money. Got to come out on the high end. Absolutely. All right, Tennessee basketball.
I think one of mine for Tennessee is pre-snap penalties. Let's just cut them out.
Love it. Yeah. Especially offensive ones. Defensive ones, depending on when they happen, how often they happen, we can live with them.
Yeah, just learn how to line up.
Offensive ones, yeah, we're out on.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to talk about men's basketball. They do start SEC play Saturday. Quick update: Lady Vols are up 54-39 on Texas A&M at Texas A&M. Kim Caldwell.
A&M.
She's on her way to triple digits.
Uh-oh.
There's 5:32 left in the third. Doubt it's happening tonight, but they did score
Kim
48 in the first half, so possible, doable, unlikely.
Got to get it done.
If they can score about 15 more in the next 5.5 minutes,
you'll be feeling good.
I'll be feeling good about it. Do we just start taking the Lady Vols over? It's got to be low, right?
I wonder what it's set at.
Who knows? Let's look at it. Let's see. Their next game is, I think it's Sunday. Don't hold me to that, though. Their next game is Sunday versus Oklahoma. Ooh, that could be a tough one. I don't know what Oklahoma's scoring at right now, but they're ranked number 9, sorry. So, yeah, that might be tough.
Texas A&M is horrible.
Yeah, I think they're 7-5 right now.
Yeah,
but the Lady Vols, they've got Oklahoma then LSU back to back. So
tough. They lost to Kansas State by 49 points a couple weeks ago.
If Kim Caldwell doesn't do triple digits, I think we call for a job.
I'm in. All right, yeah, a little basketball. So Tennessee wrapped up.
Not a good start for the Mike Vick era at Norfolk State.
No. Tennessee wraps up non-conference play, undefeated, 13-0, 8-0 at home. Topped it off with Norfolk State. They're the Spartans. Is it just 2 Spartans? They just had to make it plural by putting 2 Spartans as their logo. Have you seen that?
Interesting.
I don't understand it.
But I mean, Michigan State's the Spartans, right? They're not the Spartan, and they've only got one.
Yeah,
we're the Volunteers, and we've only ever seen one volunteer in a logo.
It's true.
There's not a lot of mascots that are non-plural.
Is one just a female?
How would you be able to tell that from that image?
The chin. I guess. I don't know.
There's a lot of
The
non-plural.
smaller round head is the female one, I think.
Okay.
I have no clue. If anybody knows, please.
There
enlighten me.
are 5 colleges, Division I colleges that are not plural. Can you name them? Can you name 3? I should have been able to name them all. I feel very dumb now. It's just 2.
Syracuse?
Syracuse is orange. Yep, Syracuse orange. That's one.
Stanford?
Correct. And this chart says just a color. Incorrect. Cardinal is in reference to the tree, but you got it right, and you didn't mention it was just a color. So
Okay.
let's go for 3. Let's see if we can get 3.
I guess Fighting Illini doesn't count.
It is
Right.
plural. Illini
Okay.
is plural.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's any in the SEC.
There is one in the SEC.
Oh, there is.
That is not. I think I don't know if it would like technically be plural if you used it in a sentence, but it doesn't look plural by itself. If that makes sense. Like I think it would be referencing to a plurality of things, but by itself, I don't know. I guess not. I guess no, it's not referencing. I don't know. I'm probably making it more confusing, and I do apologize for that. I'm not trying.
No, you're good.
It's obviously not an animal. They do have an animal mascot, but it isn't their mascot. Their nickname is not an animal.
Now
It is one of the more obscure animals. They're actually none native to North America. They played in the college football playoff. Or no, sorry, they did not play in the college football playoff.
Ole Miss?
They're the Rebels.
Are they still the Rebels? I thought that was getting changed.
I don't know. I don't know what they are anymore. Land Sharks.
Oh, the Crimson Tide. That's right.
Crimson Tide. Nailed it. Someone comment that? No, you just figured it out.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are Tulane Green Wave, which, no, I guess not. And then the Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
Oh, they're Hurricane?
Yep. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane. That's kind of a sick name when you really think about it.
I almost said Kent State, but they're the Golden Flashes.
They're the Golden Flashes.
Golden
Not
Flash.
Golden Flash. That's kind of a sicker name. That's why the Golden Hurricane sounds better.
Yeah.
So back to basketball.
Back to basketball, yeah. little trivia there for you. Yeah, I mean, not a great showing in that final game, but again, like you kind of had a week off of basketball. I think it was a good crowd, but probably not a huge crowd. Students weren't there, so it is what it is. You took care of business. You won the game. Zakai and Igor are kind of struggling shooting the ball right now. I don't know how I feel about that going into SEC play.
Yeah, just hope it works itself out. I don't love that you're playing a team like Arkansas to start off, but also it is at home. The students aren't back yet, but it is at home. I think the crowd will still be good. I think there's a lot of energy around the program. I also just don't like that the 2 games I've watched of this Arkansas team, they really haven't gone away. So it's not one of those things like, oh, just jump out in front and take care of itself. Like, I don't think that will happen.
Yeah. And it is the talented basketball team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, everybody has said Tennessee's schedule is horrible and Auburn is so much better, but Tennessee keeps winning. So I don't know how you can deny that.
And their schedules are, and I haven't seen, we talked about how we feel like Tennessee gets the short end of the stick with how the SEC scheduling works out. I haven't looked at Auburn's, but at the end of the day, like it's all the same. It's SEC. It's all the same. And you have to play each other. So.
Cade Phillips looked really good in this game, had 10 points, 5 blocks.
Yeah, block party for him, for real.
In only 22 minutes. Igor's rebounding the basketball really well right now. Akpara seems to be like making the most of his offense. Like when he gets the ball, it seems like it's efficient around the rim. Whereas earlier in the season, I was like, dude, this dude can't throw in the ocean from like 5 feet away. And then Jamal Mashak's going to guard your best player and make him hate his life. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing I love most about him.
yep.
But it's also good. I mean, he's still contributing offensively, not at a super high scoring pace, but I mean, he's becoming integral to your offense, and you're going to need that. So, love to see it.
Yeah, they just need to like avoid guys just like going off.
Right.
Like the guys from Norfolk State, like one had 18, one had 19. They weren't averaging anywhere close to that. So, yeah, like especially in that first half, I was like, man, like these guys can't miss. And then in the second half, they kind of cooled down, and Tennessee just kind of rolled from there. Chaz Lanier's a dude. I would like him to shoot more inside. I like him as a 3-point shooter, but also think he's good enough where he doesn't have to just shoot threes.
Right. Agreed.
Just like Jordan Gainey is a lot better when he's not shooting threes. Goes to the rim. I mean, he
not
had a
just
couple.
You said that right. Not just shooting threes.
I think he's better when he doesn't shoot threes.
See, I think you still need him to shoot.
Right.
He's a good shooter. I just think that can't be the only part of his game. And I mean, that's clear in how he played the other night. Like all of his points came from inside the arc. But I think he's a good 3-point shooter, and you need him to be willing to shoot and to shoot. I just think he's also, like you said, got to be willing to play and go to the rim.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job at that. I mean, there was 2 times that against Norfolk State he went to the rim, and one was a huge dunk, and one got fouled and still was able to lay it up. He's improved a ton. You know, I wasn't so sure he was gonna be an SEC player, but he kind of doesn't have any fear, and I'm sure a lot of that's like Zakai's like, dude, I'm 5'8".
Right.
Like playing against guys that are like everybody's over 6 foot. He's like, you can play this too. So yeah, it's another one of those things. It just seems to fit together. I think there was a lot of question marks going in to what this team looks like, and losing Cam Carr, Josiah, Santi, Dalton Connect, Jonas and Awaka, like that is
Tennessee is
like there's no way Tennessee's a good basketball team.
No, they're a great example of winning in the transfer portal.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, what about Cade Tyson? Was the kid from Belmont that they're like wanting to go after, and then they end up getting Igor instead of him, and he goes to North Carolina, and he's barely playing. I mean, what I think Ben McKee tweeted out today, like what an evaluation that was.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, I think too, you worry about this team and how deep they are. Obviously, not so worried about it in Arkansas, but going forward in SEC play, it's good to see Dubar get more minutes. Bishop Boswell, and I know they're not quite playing how you want them to, but they got to play. So,
yeah,
just hope they kind of figure it out going forward and minutes wise, and hopefully they can get it around. Looks like Rick Barnes will play a freshman plenty this year. We'll see. I feel like Bishop Boswell is classic. Like, hey, go to the scores table with 2 minutes left, and then we don't get a stoppage in play until 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what his actual minutes have come out to. Poor guy.
And he should be back, so that'll give Tennessee at least another body.
Yeah. At this point, that's what you want.
Yep.
Excited for Saturday. I'll be in the building.
What time is that game?
1 p.m. 1 p.m. tip.
Okay. Let's do
Good
it.
time. Yep. Do you have any Stupidities. Or I guess, sorry, did we have any questions? I didn't mean to skip over the questions here. If we had any.
Let me check on those questions real quick. We did. Jeff Harrison said Eason and Moy coming back? Question mark. I would Moy for sure. Eason, I guess he is. He's another year. And I just don't really see him going to the NFL. So
Yeah,
I would assume he's back. I would assume the same for Dominic Bailey as well. So, let's see. I think that's all the questions we got.
all right. Stupidity.
Mine is Eli Drinkowitz going crazy like he won the national championship when they won a game against Iowa, barely.
Hey, got to celebrate the wins when they
I do
come.
appreciate
you never know.
there's a few, they have very few fans on Twitter, but they like to bring up Tennessee a lot because they know they get some interaction when they do talk about Tennessee. So that's good on them. They don't have an actual rival or anything like that, so they have to try to make one on Twitter.
You should just tweet the rap video at them anytime they tweet at you. That's
The what?
what everyone should do is have it saved in their phone. That rap video.
Oh, of him like
Missouri.
jumping up.
No, the Missouri rap video. You know,
Oh yeah, we are Mizzou.
we are Mizzou. That's it.
Yeah. So who you or something like that?
I'm gonna let's take a. I know it's not gonna be good sound because I'm just doing this for my.
What's up, Mizzou? No problem, man. One take max. Think we can do it once? Easy. Where's Coach A these days anyway? Arkansas? Come on, Andrew. Hey. You know the worst thing about Arkansas? What's that? Got Kansas. No, we're not knocking on the door. We're busting.
And that's enough of that. Worse, I think just mute it and tweet it at them so you don't have to listen to it ever.
I mean,
Because it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad watch as well.
Eli Drinkowitz is he was made for Missouri after that video.
Sure. I hate to do this slander because I think it's these guys, and like the two times I talked to them, they seemed really nice. I think those are the guys that were on Armchair, the Mizzou podcast on Armchair.
Oh, the Mizzodcast?
Yeah. So if it is them, I deeply apologize. That's just bad. Yeah.
Tough scene.
Yeah. My first stupidity is, did you see the Dan Lanning stuff about Ohio State losing to Michigan? So it was just tweeted out. Let me just find the original video that was tweeted out.
Sometimes it's not your day. Sometimes it's not your day. That was us today, right? It wasn't our day today. It wasn't their day, against Michigan. But,
Right. So that's all that was tweeted out by multiple media outlets. One, maybe not media outlet. I don't know what they are. Turns out he was asked about why he thought Ohio State lost to Michigan and then like what they got better at, essentially.
Okay. So
he directly asked that question.
Specifically
And
about
people are like, just thought he was taking a shot for Michigan. No. So not even Ryan Day. Hilarious though.
It is funny, like the talent Ohio State has like makes Ryan Day look like a good coach, and he's not, obviously.
I don't believe him to be, but he may. I'm gonna stop calling him that because he's proved me wrong. I'm not excited about that.
Well, I kind of figured I didn't think they'd get beat like that, but I thought Ohio State would win that game.
I thought Ohio State had a good chance, but it's also one of those things. It's like when a team tells you so many times who they are, you got to believe them at some point. And we haven't seen the Tennessee Ohio State team that many times this year. We've seen them look good, but they looked good against Oregon last time.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. I thought Ohio State probably would win that game, but definitely did not think that was incoming, even if they played like they did against Tennessee. And I don't know. It was one of those things that I thought Oregon kind of had the upper hand in that one. Turns out they did not.
Well, we gave Will Howard the confidence like, oh, I could be the best quarterback in the country if I just
Right.
be that. So
Right.
yeah, and we've seen enough of Dylan Gabriel to know like he wasn't. He's not that guy, pal.
Right.
I can't wait to see like what old quarterback Oregon gets next. It's gonna be fun.
I've got a few more, all from one game. But do you have any more?
I don't think so.
All right, I have one that's immediate redemption. Did you see the Arizona State ball girls run right in front of Texas kicker before that?
I did
Very
see that.
stupid to do. Great, effective work. That was perfect. You perfected that. You played stupid well enough to win this award, but I know what you were doing. Just icing them, baby. Just icing the kicker. Does Sark not know how to run the clock out? Why did he give Arizona State even a chance to win that game?
Yeah.
Like, even if they made that field goal, they had a chance to come back and win it. It was insane behavior from him. And then also the last thing from that game, Landon, I'm gonna have to redo my board. I don't even know where it's at now of NCAA rules. I don't understand. That's targeting.
Yeah.
That is the definition of targeting. I saw someone say his face mask was up. He hit him helmet to helmet and launched. That's targeting. And I think the officials were afraid to make that call in that moment. And if you are, then it shouldn't be called in the first quarter or the second quarter.
Right. Yep.
Take it out of the rule book if you can't make the big boy call there. That's not letting the boys play. Like I didn't write the rule book. You did. Call it.
Yeah. It is nice that wasn't the deciding fact because that would have sucked.
But it wouldn't have been the deciding factor. They still would have had to move the ball down and scored.
Right, but that would have put them in field goal range, right?
Not with their kicker.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, this would have been.
It would have been on like the 35.
If they would have called it, it would have been Arizona State, correct?
It would have been Arizona State's ball, like the Texas 35.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the same time, not calling that, you're impacting the game in a greater way, in my opinion. You have to make the only way you don't impact the game as an official is you make the correct call. And that's not a bang play. They got to go to the booth and review it. You had time to make that call. I just don't see how, in a world infested with targeting, that doesn't get called.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I love that targeting call because he did have his helmet up. I feel like he launched to the head or neck area, though.
I mean, he could have easily just hit him like in the stomach and drove his feet and plowed him into the ground. He didn't have to just lead with his head.
And I think as a football player too, or as a football person watching, playing, reffing, coaching, you'd say he kind of has to make the play the way he did. He didn't exactly know where the down marker's at. He's got to stop him from going forward. But again, you wrote the rules that favor the offensive player there. That's your doing. That's your doing. You have to make the call.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it was a bad football play at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
I don't think it was malicious. I don't think it was unnecessary.
I don't think targeting should be in the rules, but since it is, that is targeting.
Correct. By rule, that's targeting.
Yeah. Do I hate the rule as much as anybody? Yes, but that is the definition.
I'm okay with having like targeting in there for, like if you go back and watch like the hardest hits from like NFL 2006 to like 2011. Or what was that one in the Florida-Ohio State game where they just murdered that dude? I don't remember who it was on the sidelines. There's no attempt at ball. I'm okay with that targeting call. That's fine. Don't think he should have thrown that ball, but I'm okay with it. Like, that's the rule I would keep in. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's just so irritating that I'm sure a lot of people were going, you don't want to decide the game there. The player decided the game by committing the penalty that you have in place.
Right.
Speaking
of Florida, I had a Florida linebacker like one of my tweets today about Tennessee.
Oh.
Or not today, the other day.
We don't want to tamper. Don't reveal names.
Oh, I'll reveal it.
Who was it?
The tweet was Tennessee went 10-3 and made the playoffs, and players are wanting to leave as if we went 5-7. That was kind of just out of the portals.
Oh, that doesn't sound all that great to me then.
But the Florida player liked it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like he was laughing at us, unfortunately.
Well, what's funny is like he was a guy that left one SEC program and went to another one and had a worse year.
Oh, so we don't want him anyways.
No, it's Grayson Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Who
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
Left South Carolina. I'm like, yeah, you're probably the last person that needs to be liking tweets about people leaving other schools.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But hey, screenshots live forever. So even though I can't
Forever.
look through your likes, if you like one of mine, I can screenshot it.
There you go.
I think I don't have anything else.
That's it for me, guys. Appreciate y'all listening. Hope everyone has a happy new year. We'll be back here on Sunday.
Yep. Go Vols. Beat Arkansas. We need some revenge. I mean, we didn't
Sure.
really get to that, but we need some revenge on that. So
We absolutely do.
please do your thing, Rick Barnes. And we're bringing the boat in, and we out.